Pastor Julian here with Central's Devotion for today. I hope you're doing well. Happy Pentecost. We just celebrated Pentecost last Sunday at church, and the message last week, I did not focus on Acts 2 for the message. So I want to focus on it for our devotion today, and something in particular in Acts 2 that we're going to find in verse 12 and in 15, and we'll get to that. But I want us to look at this incredible event of the Holy Spirit coming into the world and indwelling, and the power and the magnificence of when He first came and arrived in a special way to convict the world and to dwell within the hearts of believers. So this is Acts chapter 2, 2 to 15 that I'm going to be reading. When the day of Pentecost arrived, they were all together in one place. Oh, there you go. Who's all together in one place? The disciples. The disciples are all together in one place. And potentially, if you look back to Acts chapter 1, Jesus' mother Mary and other women and Jesus' brothers and sisters are perhaps here as well. It's likely that they're here as well. So let's start over again. When the day of Pentecost arrived, they were all together in one place. And suddenly, there came from heaven a sound like a mighty rushing wind, and it filled the entire house where they were sitting. And divided tongues as of fire appeared to them and rested on each of them. And they were all filled with the Holy Spirit, and began to speak in other tongues as the Spirit gave utterance. Now there were dwelling in Jerusalem Jews, devout men, from every nation under heaven. And at this sound the multitude came together, and they were bewildered, because each one was hearing them speak in his own language. And they were amazed and astonished, saying, "Are not all of these who are speaking Galileans? And how is it that we hear each of us in our own native language? Parthians and Medes and Elamites and residents of Mesopotamia and Judea and Cappadocia and Pontus and Asia and Phrygia and Pamphylia, Egypt, and parts of Libya belonging to Cyrene, and visitors from Rome, both Jews and proselytes, Cretans and Arabians. And we hear them all telling in our own tongues the mighty works of God." And all were amazed and perplexed, saying to one another, "What does this mean?" But others, mocking, said, "They are filled with new wine." Now here we go. But Peter, standing with the 11, lifted up his voice and addressed them, "Men of Judea, and all who dwell in Jerusalem, let this be known to you, and give ear to my words. For these people are not drunk, as you suppose, since it is only the third hour of the day." All right, that's where we're going to stop with our message. But I wanted to point out to you here, well, there's this incredible story. You see, there were Jews living in all different regions and areas and countries where through the exile and the diaspora. So there are Jews scattered everywhere, and they've taken on their different languages of the lands in which they reside in. And so when they came, they were all in Jerusalem. There were a number of them in Jerusalem. When the Holy Spirit came, they all heard these Galileans speaking in their native tongues the great things of God, the great things that God has done. Just how incredible is that? But when they heard this, there were some who mocked. It says right here, there were some who mocked. They were filled with new wine, they said. They're drunk. They're drunk. And then Peter addresses this when he goes to preach and speak. That's like one of the first things he does. He said, "Let it be known to you and give ear to my words, for these people are not drunk, as you suppose, since it's only the third hour of the day," which is like 9 a.m. So, I wanted to point this out. Here is this incredible event in the history of the world. Absolutely incredible event. And in the life of the church. And yet there is someone mocking. There's someone mocking. Someone dismissing this supernatural event that is going on, that God has done, this great thing that he has done. Mocking, dismissing it, belittling it. They're drunk. This isn't something that just happens here, but we see that whenever Christians do something, the world mocks. There's something that other people might say to belittle or dismiss or invalidate what is going on in your life, the life of the believer, when you do good things for God, or when God has done something for you, or just the church in general and our stance on things. Whether it be LGBTQ stuff, or not going full bore into some organization like Black Lives Matter, and why aren't you doing that? It's because you hate. It's because you're white nationalist. It's because you're racist, and all these different things. The world is constantly out there to invalidate and chop down and dismiss the church. Sure, the church has lots of problems, but Satan is constantly under attack, trying to invalidate, dismiss, mock, and lead people away from the church. So I want you to be encouraged that someone like Peter boldly shared, no, that's not the case. And that's for us. We need to speak up and say, no, the church is all about love. No, Jesus did rise from the dead. We need to be people of faith and address some of these mocking things, but also not to throw pearls to swine, but to constantly know that the world is going to mock you, chop you down, and try and belittle everything that you do for God and how you live your lives out for God and what God does in this world. It's just a fact of the matter. It even happened right here at Pentecost. God bless you and have a great day.